Yo, what is up guys, Bob87 King here, back again with another video. In this video, we're going to be ranking every single episode of the new season of Total Drama, which, to be honest, before I rank this, I think all the episodes are probably going to just be B tier, A tier, S tier, just because most of these episodes and the season overall is a very strong season. So yeah, let's just get started with episode 1, which I think is definitely going in, I think it's gonna go in B tier actually. While I do like the introductions and I like how the audition tapes are actually in the episode, I'll say that we don't really get the most screen time. Actually no, we get a good amount of screen time for everyone except for Caleb, who ends up being the first boot, which I kind of wish we got some type. I mean, we did get a story for Caleb, but overall I think it was a pretty great episode. But like, it'll go A tier, probably bottom A tier once we do fill this up. Episode 2, I think episode 2 is also a tier episode. I think Axel definitely carries this episode though. Like, Axel is probably one of my favorite pre-merge characters of all time, and I think that overall Axel's just great in general, and I think her and Ripper's dynamic, like them just butting heads, is pretty fun to watch, and I do kind of ship them. You can hate me all you want for that, but I do ship Ripper and Axel. We also get some fun character moments. We get some Scary Girl and Damien vibes. I mean, I don't ship it, but I know a lot of people do, and I think like Scary Girl could honestly have a crush on Damien in the next season, but hopefully they don't get together. Yeah, outside of that, episode 2 is also where like we get the scene where Z, like, we confirm the fact that Z is the amputee, and I like the Axel and Z interaction being like, why didn't you tell us your leg was a prosthetic or whatever, and then Z's like, the same reason why you told me your legs weren't, which was pretty funny. So yeah, episode 3 starts off with a Bowie and Ross relationship, and outside of that, it was pretty fun actually. It was pretty funny seeing Nichelle, and I hate Cherry so much, but I do love Nichelle's downfall here, and it was pretty fun to watch, even though I feel like on paper it would be really boring, but I feel like Nichelle is a very fun character, so it made up for it. Episode 4 is definitely the first S tier episode. I love this episode so much. It's very fun. Even though I don't really care for Scary Girl that much, I don't really hate her as much as I did before. Well, I did kind of dislike her. I disliked the fact that she was so loved. I guess that's a better word to put it, because some characters I just don't like because a lot of people like them and I find them overrated. So, but overall, I think Scary Girl kind of does make this episode very fun to me. I love her interactions with Damien, and also saying it's time to make some MK jam. And not gonna lie, I do like her psychopathic nature. To be honest, now that I think about it. And overall, I do like the fact that Ripper is kind of just a dick here, kind of bullying Pariah. And also, we get more interactions of Bowie and Raj, and Wayne finding out that Raj could, you know, be a little sussy. But overall, yeah, this episode was very fun. Episode 5. To be honest, I think if the challenge was anything else, this episode could have been like A tier. But due to the fact that the challenge is so weird. But I feel like for Total Drama, it's kind of passable. But like, this episode is genuinely weird. But overall, I do like it. I do like Pariah and Damien, and seeing them interact was always fun to me. And also seeing Ripper break the record, which is good because Ripper ends up staying for 8 episodes, and I'm so glad he wasn't just trying to break the record for the entire 8 episodes. We also get to see Julia pretty much roast this entire, like, pterodactyl, which was pretty fun, and MK recording it and posting it, and then Julia ends up being pissed. And yeah, episode 5 was honestly pretty chill. Even though it sucked losing Damien that early, but I feel like he did do his purpose. Episode 6, another 8. It's borderline S tier, honestly. Actually, I was gonna go in S tier again. I do love this episode, actually. Genuinely, I like the fact that this kind of starts Julia villain arc, and like she pretty much single-handedly loses the challenge for her team, and then she's still able to convince her team to keep her over, you know, MK, who, I don't know. I wish MK kind of had a more satisfying downfall, but like, I do like both their characters, to be honest, so it's pretty fun. And also, they wrapped up the phone plotline pretty well. I'm glad they didn't drag it out for too long, and then they brought it back, I think around episode 10. And I do like it, honestly. I do like this episode a lot. We get Raj and Bowie kissing, which was pretty fun to watch, and we honestly just get a lot of fun moments throughout the episode. And also Z saying the iconic line, "I've never been this high before," which, again, I still don't believe that, but yeah. Episode 7. It's kind of a slower episode, but I will say it's still good. Just because we get some Chase and Emma, like, actual development. Well, I wouldn't really say development, but at least, like, them just not like having this hate relationship sort of thing. Well, Chase didn't hate Emma, but like Emma hated Chase, which kind of got repetitive for the last few episodes. But seeing them get together was just kind of irritating. But at the same time, it was like a good type of irritating. Like you loved that you hated the ship. Well, at least I loved that I hated the ship. But yeah, overall we get Bowie and Raj. I mean, well, Bowie, not Bowie. Raj telling Wayne that he is gay, and Wayne's like, "Oh, buddy, blah blah," and that was a pretty wholesome moment. I do like that, and that's why it's in B tier. Like, I do think that was a pretty fun scene to watch, and honestly, it did make me feel very happy, obviously, but it sucks seeing them get medevaced, which kind of is another reason why this episode's in B tier. But yeah, episode 8, it's honestly pretty basic, but I do like it though. I like the fact that like the final challenge is so obscured, but at the same time we lose Ripper here, which I really wish they really would have just dunked on Ripper. Even though I personally love Ripper's character, I would have loved if they just dunked on him like they did with, I wouldn't say like push him over the edge like they do with Dave and like have him get demolished by a bear, but definitely have him have this like, I'd say kind of corny-esque downfall to where it is pretty satisfying to see him go. Because obviously a lot of people think he overstays welcome. I think he stayed for the right amount of time, but yeah. Obviously this episode's just not the best. There's not that much moments. We get Chase and Emma breaking up again. So there's that. Yeah. Episode 9 is another S tier episode. When I first watched it, I kind of hated it because Z's elimination was so dumb for everyone. But I do like the fact that we do kind of get this like strategic battle, which we rarely see in Total Drama. I think the last time we've seen something like this was in the first 3 seasons. And honestly, I do love this episode. I love how they were trying to fight for Z's vote. And once they thought they got Z's vote, and seeing Z kind of like help the other team, but also kind of like mess them up at the same time, I love how they would always hype Z up for that. And Z would be like, I have no idea what she means. And that was just pretty fun to watch. And seeing Z try to pull this mastermind strategy that if it worked, it would have been a top 10 move of all time. But unfortunately, it didn't. And then they revoted. He just got voted out. Episode 10, I think will be top of B tier because I love this challenge. It reminds me a lot of Survivor. And obviously, I feel like if you know the challenge, I think it's, I don't know, I forgot what it's called, but you pretty much just stand on the pole and Chris gives you guys temptations. And honestly, personally, I think if I was Millie, I would have just dropped for the 10k, but that's whatever. I do really like this episode though. And seeing Chase pretty much getting all of his dirty laundry pretty much aired out. And seeing how bad of a person he truly is, kind of like Brent Rivera or David Dobrik, it is pretty funny, not gonna lie. So yeah, it is in B tier. And also seeing Chase go home was pretty satisfying as well. So 11, I think it's gonna go here. I think episode 11 is right here. I think that the episode's pretty fun, but like it's kind of basic. I feel like we kind of knew Emma was going home, or at least I did, to be honest. And outside of that, it's kind of just there. Excuse me. Episode 12, another, I'll say it's A tier. I'll say seeing Bowie pretty much outplay everyone was very fun to watch. He came for the crown in his confessional, which is pretty great. And him convincing Pry and Millie to work with him instead of Julia, pretty much flipping on Julia, and then seeing him work on Julia to pretty much flip on Pry and Millie. Which, I don't know why Julia fell for this, to be honest. If I was Julia, I would keep working with Pry and Millie because I feel like they would kind of be easier, actually, I don't know. They would kind of be easier to beat, though, in theory. But overall, yeah, I do love this episode. And seeing Pry pretty much roast Millie for writing all this stuff about her was pretty nice to watch. I mean, not really nice, but like it brought a lot of good tension. And just seeing Bowie say, "Did I do that?" which is so funny. It's just a very satisfying episode overall. I think the strategy kind of, it could push it. I think it will be above episode 2 just because of the pure strategy, which I love. And episode 13 will probably be here. I do think if I watch the ending where Bowie wins, I think this episode would be S tier because Bowie played a phenomenal, like, actually not really phenomenal, but a very entertaining game, I'll say that. It was a very entertaining game to watch, seeing Bowie navigate throughout the game. But seeing the fact that Pariah wins is like, while I do like Pariah more than I probably will show on here, I don't know, just seeing Bowie win would have been a much more satisfying conclusion for the season, and yeah, there's that. But outside of that, we do get some fun moments. Obviously, we get more Damien Pariah skewing time, but that didn't last long. And I love the fact that Caleb says, or we could call the bench like the people got unfairly eliminated because the other people found them physically intimidating. Then MK saying, oh no, poor gorgeous you, which I just love MK for that. And it's pretty funny because that's something I would probably say if I was there, so there's that. But honestly, yeah, that's the entire episode rankings. Obviously, I do think this season is incredible. I think every episode's B tier worthy. I think honestly the season is very binge worthy, and to be honest, if it was more easily accessible, I would probably watch it all the time, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, that's all I really have to say. Peace out.